discussion. Guardiola has turned down the job of the advances of Italy. He said he's not interested in coaching Italy. Um, and there has been a whole lot of buzz as regards England wanting to bring in a Pep Guardiola. However, Harry Redknapp, who is the former coach, has warned the English side that bringing in a Guardiola might give them an Italian side. And I'm quoting what he said. The former Tottenham boss says Tuchel needs total backing while insisting England academy is quietly collapsing. Um, with Guardiola turning down the Italy job, Redknapp insists Wembley chief should stay away from targeting the former Man City manager. Redknapp said everybody seems to think Pep is some sort of magic wand in football. He's an absolute tactical genius, no doubt about it. However, you can't just teleport Pep into England setup and suddenly expect guaranteed trophies. At club level, Pep always has massive money to spend. If he needs a fullback who can step into the midfield, he buys a 70 million player. However, in international football, there are no checkbook. You don't have transfer window. You get what your country produces, and that is the end of the story. I mean, um, and I'll start with Collins here. Redknapp is practically saying Guardiola only succeed when there is a fact checkbook. With national team, there's no fact checkbook, and because of that, he might not be able to succeed. Do you think Redknapp is right with this assessment of Guardiola in terms of him coming to take over England?
I mean, he has a point. He has a point. To be very, very honest, he has a point. You can't buy expensive fullbacks at when you're operating in national team. Is what their country have you play. You understand? You cannot go to because you are coaching England. England don't have the kind of striker you have. Not gonna buy Haaland from Norway for 200 million. Come on, come on, please. So there's a point there. If it's Batshuayi that is your striker, you have to play Batshuayi because you don't have anybody that that can live up to that expectation. That's why clubs like Kosovo, Armenia, they don't have this caliber of players. That's why they already are. They cannot buy anybody, and that's why they will keep coming every World Cup, every international campaign with this same set of mid players, and they will end up not progressing. So he has a point. I feel like he has a point. You understand? I read the whole thing and I was like, this guy has a point. You cannot carry Pep Guardiola because it's Pep Guardiola and bring him to the national team. And they've been reports of Pep being a money guy without money. I'm not doubting his tactical prowess. He's very good. When it comes to tactics and football masterclass, I'll rate Pep Guardiola up there. Do you understand? But you know that sometimes he uses money to adjust. And England, England have the qualities of players, right? They have certain players in every department. They are very good. I feel like what is also trying to say is that they should look to the grassroots level. They should go grassroots as Spain. Spain since I think since 2010 World Cup, they grassroots. They don't look for established players. They look for players that have gone through their academy. You don't need to play in top division. Just go through any Spain academy. Look at France. Should I shock you that France 2018 World Cup, their entire squad, or maybe almost their entire squad, played for a France academy, either in Lille, either in Lyon, either in Le Havre, either in Monaco or something. All of them, none of them went to England academy or went to Germany academy or went to, so you can see that they passed through the academy. That's what that's the point he's trying to make. He also made the point that maybe I do really like. He said every English team should have a certain number of English players before they can be eligible to play. No, I don't agree with that one. This is that's when that's when it gets racial. I don't think it gets racial. He was making a good point and he said every English team. That means he's saying that Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Manchester United, Coventry, Southampton, they should have maybe 50% English players before they can be able to play in their leagues. It doesn't make sense because it's an English league, either the Championship, either the League One, either the Premier League. You should have certain number. No, it doesn't make sense. You understand? Let us play ball. But apart from that, it was making sense all through. He had the points. He also said they should back Tuchel. instead of going for Pep Guardiola that would come and implement another set of rules and tactics and everything. They should back Tuchel. I agree with that one. You understand? And I feel like the part where it made the most sense was where he said they should go homegrown. Okay, they should go homegrown. They should look at their academy. They should look at their grassroots players. That's why Spain are succeeding today. That's why France are where they are today. Even Croatia, most of Croatia starting 11 are from Dynamo Zagreb Academy.
True.
Dynamo Zagreb Academy. So you can see, and Croatia have reached the World Cup finals before. So you can see that all these players are they know what they are doing. Now let's go to Africa. Morocco, all their players are from one academy in either Botola or something. So yeah, everybody has they are going to the academy or going to their grassroots level to make success. Because if you don't go through that, if you're not going look like if you're not going deep, if you're not digging deep when it comes to international football, you're not going to make it.
Hmm.
You're not going to make it. Honestly, this is not club football where you can just go and sign players from another country or and say you want to get Vinicius Junior from Brazil because Rashford is not. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to happen. So I don't think it's going to happen anyway. You have to make do of what you have. So I feel like there's a point where he's making a solid point.
Okay, that's what I said. Temilulu has ramped up. I mean, what do you make of what you know um I Redknapp has said? We saw Ancelotti with Brazil. That did not work out. It was a disastrous performance for them. Ancelotti was successful as a club coach, but with country, we are not seeing the result. I mean, do you think Guardiola can be able to repeat the same thing at club level internationally without having, the luxury of, like Colin said, of buying Haaland from Norway and bringing him to England?
Okay, so uh, I think Harry Redknapp made a lot of very important points. It's like considering the fact that even he himself was a manager, you understand, in the English Premier League. You understand? So let's break it down. Each and every nation, you understand, have one thing that makes them stand out. You understand? Italy were well known for their defense. You understand? Italy's defense has always been solid. You understand? From Maldini to Cannavaro to Chiellini, their defense has always been solid. So now you now understand that, okay, Italy's game, you understand, firstly, is settled from the defense. Now you look at Spain. Spain's game is mostly settled in the midfield, regardless of whoever they put in front. They don't mind whoever they put in front. And that's why you can see them putting Oyarzabal and the like. All they are concerned about is their midfield. So from their academy, you understand, there's an understanding that, what, we are Spain. We control midfield. That is all our work. You understand? So that impression has been passed in the academy that, what, we are Spain. We control midfield. That's all. So regardless of whoever they put, that's why you can see in the World Cup final they removed Rodri. You understand? The ideology has been registered in all of them from the youth setup that we are Spain. We control midfield. They don't need any flashy player in front. They just need to control the midfield. You understand? So then you now come to England. For many years now, ask yourself, how do England play? And the most interesting part of it is England always have very good midfielders. Very good midfielders. I'm even surprised that even before now, England has not won the World Cup. Having the likes of Paul Scholes, having the likes of Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, Beckham, you understand, in your midfield as far back as 2006. You understand? And it's very, very, see. So they need to go back to the grassroots, you understand, and fix up a lot of things. The Premier League is a league that is known for running, you understand. So the English players have attributed their style of play to running. And there's a level to which you can run. When you meet a technically gifted, you will run tire. And that technical side will not run. You understand? They will not run because they know how to. Now you ask yourself, who are the technical players in England? The only technical player that I can see in England is Mino. You understand? The rest are people that just get the ball, hit the long ball, let us run. You understand? Let's run with the ball. Is that tactics? That tactics is not sustainable. So back to what Redknapp said about having English players in the team. He's just taking a jibe at Pep Guardiola. You understand? Because when you look at the players coming from Man City's academy, these players are top players. They've gone up to light up the league. You understand? Players like Morgan Rogers was from Man City academy. Players like Opama was from Man City academy. Players like Romeo Lavia was from. You understand? So players even like Jadon Sancho was from Man City's academy. You understand? Guy Tenz that Chelsea signed was from Man City's academy. Liam Delap was from Man City's academy. So the Redknapp was just training a jibe at Guardiola. You understand that? Okay, you have these English
When
players in your academy and you are not
which
using them.
league did
So
Delap light up abeg?
coming to England, you understand, if you cannot use these guys that are being produced from your academy, you understand, so there's a possibility that you might not be able to manage the national team simply because you would want to spend money instead of using your resources. You understand? So that's just that's what I can get from what Redknapp said. You understand that Guardiola would rather spend than use what he has. You understand? Now you never can say Guardiola is a very good tactician, but for England, they need to ask themselves the question: how do we want to play? You understand? How do we want to play? When you can establish how you want to play, it will grow from the academy back up. If you don't know how you want to play, even in the academy, because that's why you can see an Oyarzabal playing for Real Sociedad, starting for Spain. You understand? They know that this guy has been properly taught in the academy how to play like a Spaniard. You get? So in England now, players are coming from the academy. Ask yourself, how do they play? Majority of them just take the ball and run. Look at Opama, he takes the ball and run. Morgan Rogers takes the ball and run. Bellingham takes the ball and run. Anderson takes the ball and run. Everybody takes the ball and run. Everybody, aside Harry Kane that doesn't run. You understand? And then you ask yourself, how sustainable is that? You understand? Look at the way Spain totally shut down Argentina. They didn't run. Spain didn't
That's true.
run. Have the leg to run. You understand? But Rodri was the man of the match. Why? Because he was technically gifted. They know what they wanted to do. But as England, they don't know. Look at the World Cup. Bellingham was the one carrying the team for the most, apart from when they wanted to face France. You understand? Just get the ball to Bellingham and let's run. Now, if you are siding Tuchel, I've not seen enough from Tuchel to convince me that he's doing something good at England. Let me be honest with you. I've not seen much from him to convince myself that he's doing something fantastic. But what I'll just say is, for England to be better again, you understand, they need to, yes, go back to the academy. Get a coach, a tactically sound coach from the academy. You understand? Because they have to scan through the academy. Get a tactically sound coach. You understand? Him through the system, the way Spain has given everybody the blueprint to. Any country now that is failing is because they don't know how to spy, they don't know how to copy. That's all. And so Spain has given the blueprint. So go to the academy, check a coach that is tactically sound, put him through the rates. You understand? Try him in the under 15s, try him in the under 17s, try him in the under 21, try him in the under 23. His performances there, take him to the first team. You understand? That's just it. Getting foreign manager for England, I don't even know why they are getting foreign managers. You have somebody like Eddie Howe. Convince Eddie Howe from Newcastle to join. You have Western McKenna, that the Ipswich manager. Convince him to join. They have English managers that at least they are trying. Just comb the championship. You see English managers. Give them the job. You understand? These people are doing good job in the championship. Now imagine giving them proper materials to work with. Players like Bellingham, players like Harry Kane. You understand? Just try. But the problem is England are too used to the Premier League style. England as a national team are too used to the Premier League style that they are going for foreign coaches, because only foreign coaches and foreign players have made Premier League what it is. Not English players, not English coaches. Foreign players and foreign coaches are what even make England EPL an interesting league. So having that at the back of your mind, how will the national team work? When you look at Spain now, you talk about Lamine Yamal. Right? You talk about Nico Williams. You understand? You talk about Dani Olmo. These guys are Spanish players playing in Spain, and they are doing well. You understand? Let's even go to France. You have the likes of Bakula playing in France. You understand? They are the ones dominating in France. Now you ask yourself, bring out the list of top 5 performing players in the Premier League. You can just find only one English player there. Just one. You understand? Just one. And then we call it the EPL. Aside Harry Kane, England doesn't even have a 9. You understand? Aside Harry Kane, they don't have a 9. And then It's just I understand that Redknapp's point of view, you understand, but it shouldn't undermine that Guardiola is a tactician. Yes, he's a tactician, but like Mr. Collins said, they need to go back to the academy, back to the grassroots. You understand, and from there, that's where they can pick it up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. It's always amazing chatting football with you guys. Anytime we are talking, time always seems to go very, very fast. Thank you so much, Collins, and thank you so much, Temilua. By the next time we'll meet, Nigeria would have played then. Maybe we'll be counting the number of goals that our girls would have scored. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys, thank you.